All right. We're recording a podcast. Okay, welcome everybody. So my name is Robin, of course, right? And so today we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to have a conversation with Desiree Foster Collins, who is an executive coach, and she has her own coaching agency. She has more than 20 years of experience in this field, highly credentialed, and she has a passion with working with women small owned businesses, and high level individuals. So we're going to get this conversation started. We know that other folks are going to be popping on, but I know that our time goes by really fast and we may go over 5 minutes because we started a little bit tardy. It's that time of the year where it's a new year and we are trying to figure out, no, thank you, Vernetta. What are we going to do? How are we going to go forward? So I want to have this conversation with Desiree, and we're just going to jump right in. Coach Dezi, she's affectionately called. Coach Dezi, where are you? There you are. So I'm just going to do this, and Bernetta, you can still let people in. So Coach Dezi, let's just jump into it with the mindset. And I'm just going to jump in and ask you these questions, and the conversation is going to flow. First of all, what role does the mindset even play in business, in leadership? Who cares, right? Why do we care?
Oh, Robin, I need you to make me the co-host again. I'm sorry, so that I can keep letting people in. Forgive me, Desiree.
You're fine, Dr. Bernetta. Hello, everyone. Hello. I love seeing all these faces. I see a very familiar face, so I go back with at least 18 years. Miss Diane Johnson. So I'm super excited to see you, Diane.
Hi, Des.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Robin, you just went there. You went right. You just dove right in deep.
I did.
So we're going to go ahead and jump on in there. So like you were saying, this is the time when everybody begins to set goals. They're thinking about their dreams towards the end of the year and what they want to accomplish at the beginning of the year. And when we're talking about business, whether we're talking about life, we're talking about our careers, everything centers around these 6 inches.
Yeah.
Everything centers around the 6 inches between our ears. It can make you, it can challenge you. For some of us, it can break us. For some of us, we have to be restored through it. There's so many things that happen that have to do with our mindset. And when we begin to talk about the entrepreneur mindset and what it takes to have the entrepreneur mindset, if I were to pose the question and say, okay, well, what was it that motivated you? What was the desire that you had at whatever stage in your life that you decided to dip your toe into the entrepreneur world? What would that have been?
Mm-hmm.
For some, it might have been, okay, I see a lot of health. I'm assuming that everyone's here into health nutrition. We've got doctors, we've got nurses, we've got all different types of people here. But what was your why for getting started? Mm-hmm. Perhaps it was your own health condition or something that was affecting someone that you loved. Mm-hmm. There's a variety of reasons why we make that choice to dip our foot into the entrepreneurial space. Because how many know here, it's not easy.
We know that, yeah.
It's not easy. It takes work, it takes sacrifice, it takes a process. But what I found with a lot of entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs, there's some hard work behind that as to why they decide to jump in to doing something because they want something more when it comes to business. Mm-hmm. But there's typically this backwards formula that we will find ourselves just participating in, whether we're aware of it or not. So we'll make the decision of, what is it that I want to have? I want to make X number of dollars, right? I want to make X number of dollars. So therefore, I'm going to go and do A, B, and C. Mm-hmm. And the piece of that formula that we either aren't aware of, we neglect, or maybe we just ignore completely because the push for the have and the call of the do, it takes precedence. And that first part of the formula is a question that I love to ask women. Who is it that you want to be? Who are you? The formula begins at be. You decide that you're going to be the woman that you've chosen to be. That's a mindset. Then you're going to do the things that you desire to do. Notice I didn't say have to do, that you desire to do, because even in the desire, there's choice on how we do those things. And then from there, once we are being the woman that we've chosen to be, we're doing the things that we desire to do, we can have the things that we want to have. So that is a loaded question, but there's so much that we can unpack with that.
You had said, so I want to ask you this, but I want to make sure we don't skip over this concept. You had said you don't believe in hustle.
No, ma'am.
And when you say that, and I immediately resonated with that, because the society is about do, busy, all of that. So explain what that means when you say you don't believe in hustle, and why, and what do you believe in in that case?
Great question. So yes, I do not believe in hustle. What I do believe in is hard work. There's a huge difference in our mindsets when it comes to the hustle and grind and flow of building a business. When we're in that hustle mindset, oh, I need to get these number of clients, because if I get these number of clients, then, the average is way out. And if I talk to 10 people, 3 might say yes, and then maybe I can sell to one of them. That outcome is completely focused on you. Versus the hard work mindset that goes behind, which is not saying that we don't work hard, like there isn't hard work in the hustle, but the way that our mind processes that is very different, because it comes from a place of, I get to do this because I love it. And because I love it, I'm going to go and share with however many people I can possibly share with. And as I'm sharing, in my sharing, I will serve them. That conversation, that mindset is completely different than, oh, I need to talk to 20 people this month.
We talked about a lot of things. Let's talk about things that are, generally speaking, what you find is stopping people, or what's going on in their head that's stopping them from results. One of them being fear. But talk to us about how to strengthen our mindset, but then also where that people are struggling with inside of themselves. Because it seems like there's certain, over and over again, we generally fit into this same category of the struggle. So what would you say?
So I'm going to ask the question a different way, because I've got a couple of different perspectives that I can come from on this one.
I will answer it the way you want to feed us the information, because I asked a lot in that one question. So let me back up. Let me just ask one question. Give us 3 things that can strengthen our mindset. Let's just start with that, because I asked you a lot. So 3 things that we can do to strengthen our mindset, to prepare us mentally for what we're trying to do.
The first thing that I would highly recommend is identifying your top 5 values. What are the top 5 values that are your non-negotiables, that you're willing to put your life on the line for? For me, one of my my non-negotiables is my integrity.
Okay.
That's huge for me. Now, sometimes in business, can we be real?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
Everybody's like, yes. Everybody's like, be real.
I've seen many women. I've seen many entrepreneurs, if I can just share it that way, that will sacrifice their integrity to make money.
Okay.
They will sacrifice valuable time with their family to go out there and make money, right? Because I've got to go and get this thing. I have to go and do that. Ask me how I know.
Right.
So we
Okay.
have to understand, what are my values? What are my non-negotiables? What would I put my life on the line for as an absolute no, I'm not crossing this line, and it doesn't matter what it's for. The second thing is, you got to know yourself to grow yourself. You have to know yourself to grow yourself. Lack of self-awareness has a huge impact on our mindsets.
Okay.
And number three, let me just share for myself. One of the best things that I could have possibly have done for myself, and you guys, this is not self-promotion, so just hear my heart, okay? But I'm just going to shoot straight. I invested in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I invested in myself. Those who invest are invested.
Mm.
We do not value what we do not invest our time, our talent, and our treasure in. But those who invest are invested. I, for myself, my investment was doubling down and figuring out where to find the money to hire my own coaches. Spending the time. When I didn't have it, I'm a voracious reader. I love books. They hide the secrets in the books.
Right.
I want to recommend a book for all of you to pick up. You're not going to find it in bookstores. You could probably find it online in like an online thrift store. There is a book called The Art of Selfishness.
The Art of Selfishness.
In that book, I know you got another question for me, Robin, but in the book, The Art of Selfishness, it talks about how to be sensibly selfish. We are naturally nurturers. We are naturally caretakers and providers and givers. And in this book, again, it talks about how to be sensibly selfish so that you can make sure that you are in the right space to choose to do the right things for yourself. Because you got to remember, when it comes to how we think, everything's created twice.
Yeah.
Everything is created twice. And we can jump into that if you'd like to later.
No, say that. That's really powerful. Unpack that. Absolutely.
So when I say everything is created twice, what that means is that a thought is the first creation. When we set emotion to that thought, whatever the emotion is, and then we speak that is the second creation. And our minds will go into overdrive in order to make that thing real. It will go into overdrive to make that a real thing. And if we do not process that out of our systems, physically out of our bodies, it will appear, it will show up in our lives in some shape, form, or fashion. So I'll give you an example. I used to say all the time that I didn't like to physically dream. And I'm a big dreamer. I'm a big visionary. And yes, David Seabury, Dr. Bernetta, David Seabury. And I didn't like to dream because every time that I allowed myself to, when I would go to sleep, my mind would always be racing because I was always moving, always going. But then when I finally was at a place to get rest, there were things that would be processed through my dreaming that inevitably, because they've been sitting in my subconscious mind, they would show up in my physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, I'm on a quest to buy a new car. And I made a decision, was watching the videos, fell in love with the video that I saw. I cannot tell you how many Range Rovers I've seen in the past 3 weeks, because that was the decision that I made on the car. If you think about a yellow car long enough, you're going to start seeing yellow cars everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is created twice. First, it's created as a thought, and then we put emotion to that, we verbalize that, and that physical thing will be created in our reality, whether we are aware of it or not.
Whether it's good or bad.
Good
for
or bad.
us.
Absolutely.
I think that's where what you said is so powerful, because our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. And sometimes people say, how did I get here? How did this happen? And it's oftentimes happening unbeknownst to you, with your thinking. Let's talk about fear.
Yes.
Because fear is it's well, we talked about having the same energy. That you said fear and excitement carry the same vibration. And I believe that,
They do.
because sometimes I'm like, am I scared or am I excited? I'm not sure, because they feel the same. But fear is debilitating for some. What do you see in terms of that space with women and fear, and then hold the mindset? Oh my gosh, here I go again. Can you hear me, Desiree?
Yes, I can. Yes,
All
I
right.
can.
I don't know what.
With women, fear and mindset. Oh, so let me ask this question. What is the difference between a complaint and complaining? If I could just take like one person, like 30 seconds, the difference between a complaint and complaining.
Anybody want to take that? Unmute. They're all mute listening, but somebody unmute and just share. I know.
A complaint. Can you hear me, Robin?
Yes.
Please, so we can.
I would say a complaint is something that you don't like, that you vocalize. Complaining would be a continual recourse of that, continually complaining about something that you don't like.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for that, Lisa. So along that line, right? A complaint is a one-time thing. Problem, solution. Fair enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dawn, I see your hand, and I'm gonna jump to you in just a moment. Lisa, you said a complaint is something that you vocalize. So once a decision is made to now take what you've been thinking about and now vocalizing it, who is that being vocalized to? And how many times have you sat in your mind rehearsing over and over and over and over again that very same thing, to where now it now has the power to either induce fear or to get you to do something about it? We've got decisions to make in that, right? So when it comes to making the decision on whether we are going to look at something as something scary, or in my ability to what I have the decision and the choice to do with that thing. It could be something, something as simple as, you guys are all into sales too, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many people love sales?
I don't know if they love it. I don't know if they love it. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. Y'all can put in the chat. Do you love it? I love marketing. That's what I would say.
You
Marketing.
love, okay.
I love marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're approaching that person and you know that it's time for that conversation, right? It's time to ask for the money.
Yeah.
But you've heard them talking about, "Ooh, wow, this is great. Let me see your brochure again." Let me look at this again. I love that, Corliss. I love sharing good things with good people. Love sharing information. Excellent. Excellent. But the decision behind when we're going to take that next step to say, okay, you know what? This is how much it is. This is the investment that you're going to make, and allowing them to make that decision. I can't tell you the number of, especially women that have been in like the direct sales, because I also come from that background. When it would get down to the nitty gritty of asking for the money,
Yeah.
talk yourself right on out of it. Talk yourself right on out of the sale. And that comes from a place of fear.
Yeah.
Of fear.
We hold fear, and we know we hold fear because there's a place that we want to be, and then there's because all things are possible. Everything that we want is possible. Absolutely. And how come we're not there? It's because of what we're limiting ourselves, and the fear, and the all of that going on in our mind. I like what you said, and then I'm gonna. Well, actually, Darlene, was it I'm frozen again. Y'all don't have to tell me I'm frozen. I already know I'm frozen. I don't know what's going on.
It was Donna.
It was Donna.
Yeah.
Donna, what did you had your hand up? Was it Donna? It was Donna.
You're muted, Donna. You're muted. I can't hear you. I'd love to hear you.
Sorry. So you basically said what I was going to say as far as the complaint, that, you know, there's a difference between one and done, you know, and that's okay, because, you know, if something has said, say, someone has overstepped your boundaries, you know, you gotta stand up for your boundary. But when you get into the constant ruminating and sharing that ruminating with others, and, you know, basically stirring up a root of bitterness, not just in yourself, but that can infect others. It's a mindset issue. It's a mindset shift that happens. Anybody, there's a big difference between the two, and, you know, you pretty much broke that down already. Thank you.
You're welcome, Donna. Thank you for that.
Go ahead.
It's a choice.
It is.
Yes.
It's a choice. It comes down to, I am choosing to allow this behavior to now dictate what my future outcome is going to be.
Yeah. When you said, and I want everybody to, and we hear it, but it's like we forget, because everything is a choice. Even things we don't think is a choice, we have the choice to even decide how we're going to feel about it. It's all a choice. And when we look at it that way, then we're empowered, because the thing that's stopping us from getting what we want is us. So that's the good news. I don't know what is wrong with my computer. I can't even just tell you. So I learned can y'all hear me? I know my computer is weird. Can you hear me though? You can hear me. I lost my train of thought, but it was about fear. I lost my train of thought with that. But Desiree, is there, because again, our time is going fast. I definitely want to make sure that they get your information. But is there any points or pointers? Because again, it's just like we're scratching the tip of the iceberg with this, as far as mindset, what we could do, should do to really figure out what is holding us back. Because sometimes it's subconsciously. What are the next steps basically that you would recommend that we take to get from where we are to where we want to be?
Sure. Wonderful. Decide.
Yeah.
Who do you want to be?
Yeah.
Not what your degrees are.
Correct.
Not your experience. I found a lot of pride in my previous roles. the accolades behind, oh my gosh, you're so this, you're so that. Oh,
Right.
you're making six figures. Desiree, me talking to myself, you know what? Yeah, you've arrived. Do you know where you come from?
Right.
You know, we get to decide who we want to be and then
Mhm.
keep the formula in order. If the world is going left, go right.
Yes.
Because
The,
the
Go ahead.
gurus will tell you to keep up with the hustle culture. They'll tell
Yes.
you to keep grinding, and it doesn't work for everyone. And for the ones that it appears to work for,
They're
they're not
falling.
telling you the whole story.
I swear they're not. I learned something. I learned something. So there was some years ago that I started this, I decided to step away from the hustle because the word on the street is go, go, grind, grind, go next, next, next. And I just said, what would happen if I started living as if, like living the actual life that I wanted to live in my mind, in my physical, and move the way I wanted to move? How would my work change? It's a scary thing to do, but I know that my work is more peaceful. My work is more fulfilling. And I don't have that grind hustle mentality anymore, but I had to decide to go, as you said, go right if everybody's going left or whatever the case may be. I had to make that decision. And you said it is very powerful to make that decision, but it's difficult for people to really understand that they don't have to hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind when that's not the predominant message
Understood.
there.
Yeah. Notice I didn't say um, drop everything.
Mm-hmm.
I said decide. Decide, because it is in your being that you will find your greatest treasure. It's not outside of you. It is in your being.
Mm-hmm.
It is in your being. I cannot stress that enough. Who do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
There's enough out there for everybody, but there's only one you. And it probably sounds really cliche-ish, but at the end of the day, you live with you. You have to decide. And here's what, for me, because I've experienced burnout.
Mm-hmm.
I've done the things and was continuing to do the things and telling myself the story about the things that I was doing, thinking that they were going to make a difference, but I was focused on the doing because there's something that I wanted to have.
Yep.
When I back that thing up, and even within my coaching clients, and every time I bring them back to this space, okay, well, you know what? This is the woman that you told me that you want to be. So what is it that you've done today? Not what you're hoping to do next week. What have you done today in order to honor her?
Honor her.
What did you do today to honor her? Because that is future tense.
Mm-hmm. What have you done today to honor her? That's, yeah, I love that because we get off kilter often. Desiree, put us in the chat. So I want to ask you about you have a lab. So I'm reading my notes. You have an entrepreneur, so a lab. Tell me what the lab is. I know it's free. So tell me what the lab is. What is the
So
lab?
I have a free Facebook group called the Life Aligned Business Global Community, and it is for purpose-driven founders, entrepreneurs, and driven professionals who want to live life aligned. So for those who have a business that you're trying to make your determination on whether you're going to continue to work in corporate, if that's your thing, and then you've got the side hustle because there's something more that you want. We have a space, and I've got a complimentary course in there that you can do on your own called Mindset 21. And so I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat if anyone is interested. But the Mindset 21 challenge, it is a 21-day challenge. There are 21 days, 21 videos. First thing in the morning, you open your eyes, and I'm a woman of faith. So after I talk to God, then I'm handling my mindset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everyone has heard it takes 21 days to what?
To create a new habit.
Create a new habit. The truth is, that's just to create it. That's not to hold it. It
Talk
takes
on it.
it takes 3 cycles of 21 days for that habit to stick.
Never heard that before.
It takes 21 days for 63 days total for that habit to stick. And so you can look up Dr. Caroline Leaf if you guys are familiar with her. She talks about this and the science behind it.
Somebody's like, Donna's over there like, amen, amen, and high
Talks
five.
about that. But 21 days to start a habit, to begin the creation process of the habit. And so you can jump on in there, and every single day you watch a video. I think the longest video might be 20 minutes. Everything else is less than that. I think the shortest one is like 5 minutes. You watch a video, you give your reflection on it. Go on about your day.
Got it.
I've had women that have done this for 100 days straight and has completely changed their lives. So I wanted to share that with everyone here.
Wow. And it's in your Facebook group inside of the lab.
In the lab.
And I love what you said, because yeah, we hear about 21 days to create a new habit, but you're right. It doesn't stick. It just is, we just created it. That's wonderful. So I hope that, again, we're wrapping it up, but I hope that you all will go and get in the lab with Desiree and do the mindset course that's in
Mindset
there.
21.
Mindset 21 that's in there. And what I also heard her say was, after she speaks to God, then she works on her mindset, which is part of working on your mindset, but getting up, and that's what I've learned to do. And that's made the world of difference in my life, because what I used to do was get up, grab the phone, go, and now I step into my day with prayer, with working on my mind. And then before I go to bed, I'm also working on my mind, because, as you said, our subconscious is being fed, and I want to feed it consciously since it's doing things. I want to put in there in that computer, right? It's you're programming it. And I've learned to program it differently based on the outcomes and dealing with my fears. So all of y'all, I hope that this was useful for you. And we thank you. Any questions or comments, y'all, before we wrap up? We're a little bit over time because we had some computer craziness.
So the website, the Facebook group is called
The Life Aligned Business Global Community.
Global Community. And then
Put it in the chat, please.
you can go to the website, www.lifealignedbusiness.com. And if you do that, you can register. You'll get the emails and the information on how to actually join the group. And that's where I spend a lot of time. I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook because Facebook is noisy, but I do spend a lot of time in my community and with the ladies that are in there. We're a small but powerful group. And so we'd love to have you, love to see you.
Lifealignedbusiness.com, and the Facebook group is called the Life Aligned
Business Global Community.
So just go to her website and get into the group that way.
And you can find me on Facebook, so you can just connect with me that way too.
And so they're looking forward to doing the challenge and going in there. So as soon as I get off, I'm going to go in there too. So Desiree, I thank you so much for showing up for us, and just so y'all know, because the community out there, my brain is always coming up with different topics and things and all of that. And I knew that I wanted to have a mindset conversation, but I just didn't know who. And I found Desiree on Facebook. So I reached out to her and I'm like, you don't know me, but can you come in here and talk with us? So but that desire, that thing that I do to go out and find, you know, connections leads itself well to our business as a scale, right? So I actually have to work on that in flipping that around to grow even in the business. But anyways, I found her on Facebook. So everybody, you can find everything you need, y'all can find out there on Facebook. You can find customers, clients, coaches, a new husband, a new wife, whatever you want to find in Facebook, you can find it. So anything else before we finally close it out for Desiree?
Can I share one more thing?
Yes,
If
absolutely.
I just may, I just want to let each of you ladies know, and please take this to the depths of your soul. You are built for this moment right here, right now. You are built for this moment right here, right now. There is nothing that you cannot do, because when you work for God, there's no failure. There's no failure. So you're built for it.
There's some lessons. I'll be like, I'm gonna give you some lessons, but there's no failure, for sure, for sure.
So thank you for having me, Robin. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna cut the recording. Can I cut it off, or Bernetta, do you have to do it? I think I'm gonna cut it off. Do I have the,
I
okay.
think you can do it. You have the rights.